4, 3, 2, 1. What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to another episode of Mornings with the Outlaw. I'm your host, John Rocha. John the Outlaw Rocha, that is. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. For any of you who are new to the show, maybe you're staying home because of the coronavirus and you thought, what is this idiot going to talk about? What is this fool going to tell me about the world going on in movies and entertainment? I'm going to click and see what this guy's got to say. Well, thank you very much for joining me. And to all of you who are back again for another episode of the show, thank you so much. Hey, let's move the mic a little bit closer. There we go. We are live. That's right. I've adjusted some things on the mic, so you'll see the mic kind of be here a little bit. Made some moves over the weekend in that way. So let's say hi to everybody who is in here. Haskell 420, one of the first. What's up, brother man? Hello, MK Songbird. Welcome back. Ben Rayner, what's going down? Andrew G. Hello. Chris Scorpio. Que pasa, Chico? He's officially quarantined. He's not sick. Wife has a cold, so I'm stuck home just in case. Smart man. Stay home if you are sick. Stay home. PC, what's up? So lost, forgot it was Monday. Well, I'm glad you remember to join me. Thank you much, PC. Keith Forshee, what's going on? Vanja Kostiak, what's going down? I did not see Westworld. I was focusing on finishing up the Valhalla murders, but I will start Westworld very soon this week. Quee George Jim, what's going on? Adelia Chamberlain, good morning. How are you? Hope you're doing better, Adelia. Great to hear everything that's happening positively for your father. So sending you some love over there. Cameron Hainsworth, what's down? Travis Earl, hello. Maria Zambeno, how are you? Listening at work, getting stuff done, and prepare to start working remotely starting tomorrow. Oh, nice. Please join me tomorrow as well. Rick Samoris, what's going down? Chico, Manny Gonzalez, hello. Andy Burnett, what's up? Let's see who else we got in here rolling through that I haven't said hi to just yet. Monkey of Old DJs, greetings from Winnipeg. Hello. Jake Yakavetta is in as well. Oh, he says he can't be in here for the stream today, but all the links are in the description. Yeah, thank you so much, Jake. Thanks for another great thumbnail as well. And what's going on, Shug Knight 323? What's going down with you, my man? Let's see who else we got rolling in. Randall Tan, hello. Randall, greetings from Shanghai. Thank you, Randall. Hope you're taking care of yourself, man. Hope things are over there, going well over there. Jose Fonseca, what's up? James Kimmel, what? James Kimmel, not Jimmy Kimmel. What's up, James? How are you? JB Bonifacio, what's up? How's it going? See that guy over there? Yo ma, nice. Let's see, Vyakoslav Rozandic. Hey, what's up? How's it going? Let's see who else. Talkside TWV, good morning. Ronnie Padilla, good morning. How are you? Level 2 trading, audio is low. How about the audio now? I feel like the audio might be better. If the audio is low, let's turn it up. Let's turn it up, man. Let's see. Yeah, I've got it going out through the audio device, USB audio device, so hopefully it is not a problem. Let's see. Videos by Andrew. What's up, Andrew? How you doing, my man? Chris Scorpio, good to see you, dude. I already said hi to you, I think. Patrick Patton, it says, is your mic on? Okay, I can hear you now. There you go. Thank you, Patrick. I appreciate it. Tyler, how's it going? Let's see. Zach Woolley, what's up? Finally done with the bar exam. Congratulations, Zach. Hope you did well. Hope you get good results from it. Patrick Patton, how are you? Let's see. Absent Good, hello. Slen182, good morning. Dr. 01D80, how are you? Carlos Davalos, big fan of you as well. Thanks for being a big fan of the Outlaw. Really appreciate that. ZB, heyo. Billy Belford, how are you, Billy? Hey, Billy, maybe I should get you to moderate on those days that Jake can't do it. So maybe you'd want to pseudo-moderate today, Billy, if you feel like it. Or maybe I can take a moment and kind of add you in as a moderator. We'll see. Wiley Todd, what's up, my man? New Challenge 2049, what's going on? Jesus Martinez, what's up? Video said, Andrew said, my parents just flew to Cali last week and Orlando TSA agent tested positive. So it'll be interesting when they fly back to Florida, that's for sure. J-Dog, what's up? How are you, my man? Good to see you. Let's see. Turn it up to 22. Turn it up to 11. All right, everybody telling the audio is solid. Sorry, y'all. Room's coming together really well, boss. Yeah, I know. Thank you, Elliot. I appreciate it. Step by step, piece by piece, building this thing out a little bit. Can't do too much. Can't put too much into it because, my girlfriend uses it to shoot her stuff. She's building her photography business as well. So I can't fill it up with too much, but it is what it is. Prem DeRoy, what's going on? Aloha, how are you? Joseph Brown, good morning, man. Great to hear from you, too. Camshaft, hello. Camshaft, what's going down? Belford says he's down to moderate. Oh, awesome. All right, how do I add you, Billy? Can you DM me? Let me add you down the road because I know I'm supposed to add everybody in this thing. Tim Franco, what is up? You working from home? All right, Timmy, join me. I'm on three night. This is only happening now 3 times a week because tomorrow night I have the Outlaw Nation show. That's what I do on my Tuesdays. And Thursdays is going to be a show for the patrons. I realize that I haven't done as well as I should have with the patrons, so there's going to be a big concerted effort there. I don't like that Ben Goddard has more patrons. Coy Jandrew has more patrons than I do. That's got to change. Clearly, I need to do way more work on that end. So thank you so much for joining me, Tim. Good to see you, my man. Hope you and the lady are doing well. You did miss the pre-show with the chair this morning, Andy. One of my favorite episodes ever. One of my favorite episodes for so many reasons. Yes, J-Dog, once you send that baseball, it'll be prominently featured, probably right by the Us book right over there. I'll put it there. There. And if you see the postcard killings behind me, that's the swag I got from the movie that's out now on digital and on demand. For those of you who don't want to leave the house, the postcard killings. Jeffrey Dean Morgan, Kush Jumbo, and Famke Janssen did an unboxing, first ever unboxing on the Outlaw Nation channel for that. And hopefully I'll be getting something soon from 1917, which will be a lot of fun. As you guys know, I'm a massive fan of that film. All right, well, let's jump into our first topic. Remember that the Streamlabs are up. The Super Chats are up. Please send your Super Chats in and your Streamlabs. Let's see. Jake, did Jake take off? I think Jake took off. Or else I would have had him put up the address there for people who want to send in their Streamlabs. I think it's www.streamlabs.com. John Rocha says. I think that's the situation there. Let me take a look real quick to make sure we're good to go. Let's see here. Remember that the Streamlabs... I don't want to jump in there in the middle of that. Yes, the Streamlabs. Where are they? There they are. Right there. So... perfect. I'll just keep sending it every once in a while. And maybe, Billy, if you want to copy this down when I send it through and just kind of send it through to people to let them know to jump on and do it, that would be most appreciative, my man. Let me see, where am I? Here we go. Cool. All right, here's the Streamlabs address. Putting it through if you want to send some stuff in. Donate to keep the lights on and have your questions answered. Let me know. There you go, Billy. Appreciate that. John, I need your lady to do my headshots. The pictures she took of you are great. They were, right? She charges, Andrew. For me, I got the discount because I'm the boyfriend, so I got lucky. But she charges, just to let you know, just FYI. So, but definitely, man, definitely take those shots. Maybe we'll do a videos for pictures exchange. That's for sure. All right. Maybe to go to App Bateman app for a stream when this virus is over. Yeah, for sure. We can make that happen. All right, let me jump into the first topic here. Let's jump into it now, and that is the Batman. Yeah, the Batman got delayed. Its production got delayed. Let me bring that up. It's the news. It's 2 weeks of a delay is what they're talking about here from Warner Brothers. Batman and The Matrix kind of had gotten away with not delaying anything, not postponing anything, but then the news came through that they are delayed. The film's crew was shooting on a soundstage in London since January. That's right, since January, and was planning to change locations to Liverpool. I love Liverpool. But Warner Brothers thought it was best to go on hiatus during the location change. We've seen so much, as you see there, we've seen so much from the Batman already with that great introduction to his costume that Matt Reeves posted. Then we saw the Batmobile there with him standing beside it there. A little bit more of the ears and the cowl that we saw in that picture. And, of course, the badass-looking muscle car Batmobile that we got to see as well. And also we got a little more of a full-on picture of him in the suit next to the Batmobile. Looks like something some of the dudes who used to beat me up in high school drove to high school every morning with their mullets. That's what that Batmobile looks like. But still, pretty awesome stuff that we got from there and to get us hyped up for the Batman. But now they're on delay. It's only 2 weeks, though, so that's an interesting decision to make it only 2 weeks. The Matrix 4 is still shooting in Berlin, so that one hasn't been delayed in terms of Warner Brothers, but it's on a soundstage where safety measures are being taken apparently. And King Richard, that shoot is still going as well. They've already had to rearrange, but only because of the bad weather. If you guys haven't checked out the weather in Los Angeles, it's been raining cats and dogs, so to speak, for the last few days, and it will be overcast raining for the rest of the week, which is perfect weather for me. I love the rainy weather more than I love the sun, which is, of course, ironic that I moved to Los Angeles. But I'm a bigger, I like the idea when it's overcast. It makes you want to watch movies. It makes you want to stay in. So if we're going to be, if we're going to be quarantined and made to stay in and order in and things of that nature, no better weather than to have a little bit of overcast and rainy weather that makes you want to watch movies or makes you want to watch stuff on the streaming services. As far as the delay for the release of the film, they haven't announced whether that will delay the release. It's supposed to come out in June of 2021. They haven't said that that will affect it. So who knows? A lot of these films, they factor in possible bad weather stuff. They factor in possible issues with production and things of that nature. So in that way, I think that's something they can plan for. And I think maybe that's why they only took 2 weeks. Could have been longer, but only 2 weeks in that way. There's been a number of them. Universal announced as well that Jurassic World Dominion and Flint Strong would also be taking a hiatus. And Sony's Kevin Hartpick, the man from Toronto, the one that I think it's the one that just got recast where Jason Statham dropped out and Woody Harrelson stepped in. That's also going to be delayed. And of course, like I said, the Batman is supposed to come out on June 25th, 2021. With Robert Pattinson, Zoe Kravitz, Paul Dano, Jeffrey Wright, Colin Farrell, and Andy Serkis. So you look at this thing, and I'm going to talk about it in just a little bit, the idea of what these delays are costing studios. We look at something like No Time to Die. That is, let's just move into our next topic, and I'll get to your super chats and I'll get to your Streamlabs after we talk about this a little bit. But so much has started to happen now with this coronavirus and the delays on these films and the studios and the productions. But this is from the Hollywood Reporter. I think Boris Kitt was one of the reporters on this. Want to give a shout out and credit. And by the way, Justin Kroll is credited for the Batman stuff. Want to give him some love there over at Variety. But this is Boris Kitt over at the Hollywood Reporter. Early estimates indicate that the blow will be unlike anything Hollywood has ever experienced before, and the losses will eclipse the 11-figure mark. Now, this is according to their article there at the Hollywood Reporter. As it stands now, all these delays have already cost the global box office a hit of at least $7 billion. That's $7 billion. And if the remainder of March, April, and May are included, the lost revenue could climb another $10 billion, which means $17 billion total could be going on until May. And after May, their quote is all bets are off. That's a huge thing to take in and understand about the box office here. Like I was saying with No Time to Die, the James Bond ending, right now they're estimating that moving it to November, they were smart to move it to November. It'll minimize the loss, but they're estimating that there still will be a loss. It'll cost $30 to $50 million is what the loss will be, because the ad buys that are made in advance and make goods are not a given, as several studios are in the same boat, having pulled their ads at the last minute. That is a tough situation for No Time to Die, but they seem to be in a better position than others. For example, A Quiet Place 2 canceled 8 days before it's released. It already had its premiere. It already had one of its press screening, which a lot of people had already sent out their tweets about how good they thought the film was. They think this is going to cost the studio $30 million because they'd already been in the process of all the advertisement, all the stuff that was going on there with the TV spots and what have you. So that is a situation there as well. With Mulan, this is something else that is tough to kind of swallow with what they might be losing. Mulan is likely to look at an even greater loss, because if you look at No Time to Die, that's 30%. Could have said about 30% off the final box office tallies, which is a possible $300 million out of a likely $1 billion global haul. But with Mulan, it's actually might be even a greater loss, because it was aimed at Chinese moviegoers, and like just about a lot of, I don't know every, but certainly a lot of Chinese theaters have shut down already, so you wouldn't have been able to screen the movie. But the movie was ramping up, just about to drop here, with a $200 million total in its budget. So there's a lot here that could go down, but the one that you got to think about is the number that you got to really kind of conceive in your head is the $17 billion loss that could be coming here by May. And, this is starting to get worse as you see Eric Garcetti, I don't know if you guys know this, but Eric Garcetti came out. Not only did he shut the bars last night, now they're trying to push through with Governor Gavin Newsom here in California that that restaurants are only allowed to do delivery or carry out. That's the way they're going. So you can't even go to the restaurant and sit down and eat. That's what they're saying here. And of course, the other part of this is they just announced last night is they're going to shut down the movie theaters. All the movie theaters in the area, they're going to shut them down. That is massive. That tells you that people, weren't listening and were not practicing social distancing and we're still going. And if you saw my tweet from Disneyland, Lord God Almighty, people still came out and went into a massive a pool of people. If you saw the tweet I also put out yesterday afternoon or yesterday morning about all the people coming back from overseas and how some of those airports were just chock full of people standing next to each other, not practicing social distancing at all because they couldn't, waiting like hours and hours to get their bags and then to get tested for the COVID-19. So there's a lot of stuff going on here outside of the world of movies, but it's all affecting the world of movies and the entertainment dollar that's being spent at these studios, which is pretty severe, a pretty severe situation one we haven't experienced probably ever in the history of movies. I know I've spoken to a couple of people who said they have never seen anything like this, and they've been around for quite some time. I had a super chat come through. I don't want to miss it here. Will the Wheelman Watson said, "Good morning, Outlaw. You and the Lady Outlaw stay safe." That's our goal. That's our goal. I've got 192 of you all in here. Thank you so much for joining me so quickly this morning. Would love to get the likes up. I'm only at 80 likes. Could you guys get me over to 150 likes as soon as possible? Maybe move that cursor over, hit that like button, and give it some love. I'd really appreciate it. Once again, the super chats are open, and so is the Streamlabs. I'm going to put that in there as well. The Streamlabs, please send in your questions through the Streamlabs. YouTube takes 33%. Streamlabs doesn't take anything. So I'd love to keep the lights on. As you see, the lights, I've set everything up. Want to put some more stuff behind me as well. So any support you can give me, any help you can give me, especially with all the stuff that's going down financially, with the shutting down of jobs, the shutting down of some freelance work, any help you can give me as I do this show and do the other shows, it'd be most appreciated. Thank you so much. Let's jump into some super chats here before we go back to the rest of that story. Well, first of all, I want to say thank you to everybody who subscribed to the YouTube channel already over the last 24 hours. Matt Thomas, Wolfman Dano 23, Ashok Sehajal, sorry, but yawn a little bit. Ashok Sehajal, thank you so much. Absolute Necessity, J-Miss Ed 85, Dhruv Chauhan, Ivan Suarez, Matthew Tilbury, Stephen DeMalo, Zach Clark. Thank you all so much for subscribing to the Outlaw Nation channel. If you haven't subscribed to the Outlaw Nation channel, I'd really appreciate you doing so. If you're enjoying the content, been enjoying the content for a few days, or if you like this show, please go down there, hit that red button, and subscribe. Trust me, there's a lot coming. Reviews, trailer reactions, my own special videos I'm going to be making. I'm looking to count down the top 10 Westerns, things of that nature, because I figure you guys are going to be home. A lot of you are going to be home being quarantined. If you're doing the right thing or your job is sending you home to be quarantined, want to entertain you with the content I can bring out. And of course, don't forget, later on today at 1 o'clock, let me put this up. I'm going to put this up more than once, but let me put this up now. At 1 o'clock today, I'm joined by Winston Marshall and Jay Washington for the debut of my new sports show. Finally, it's called Game Time. And of course, my friend BC over in the Finstock Exchange was busting my balls a little bit, saying like, "How can you launch a sports show when they've delayed, when they've put a postponement or put a delay on these leagues?" And I said, it's actually the perfect time because there's so much happening. And sure enough, there is already a lot happening with the NFL CBA agreement being signed. Now people wondering where Tom Brady is going to go, with the trades that happen in the NFL, with the idea that Andy Dalton might be going somewhere. Who are the Patriots going to pick up? The idea that Tampa Bay could be going for Tom Brady. My God, all of that in the mix. That's just the NFL. Then there's MLB news about them pushing back the start of training camp and what have you. The start of the season and how that's going to affect things. The NHL. There's so much to happen. The soccer leagues around the world, golf, everything that's going down. We're going to talk about it all, and also to bring you the biggest news that's happening and breaking from the world of sports. It's always happening. Sports never stops. The games may stop, but sports itself never stops. And certainly the the conversations and the topics don't end. So just let you know, and I'll plug it a little bit more a little bit later as well as we go through this whole thing with the box office. Also, let's look at these super chats real quick. Andy Burnett donated. Thank you, Andy. He said, "For as long as I still have a job, I'll keep sending Streamlabs." Thank you, Andy. You're very kind. Do you think when the virus moves on, we will see blockbuster movies starting to double up on release dates? Or will studios still aim for standalone dates? That's a great question. Will these studios enter into what is quote unquote a gentleman's agreement, or as if they're female studio heads, a gentle ladies agreement, and say like, hey, let's have this weekend, we want this weekend with that weekend. But that's another thing to think about. Just because these things are being pushed, well, what happens with the movies coming behind them? Are they going to make any money? We're going to look at the box office just a little bit, kind of look at what happened as a result of these moves and the coronavirus and what have you. But yeah, you ask yourself, well, will they kind of negotiate what weekends, or will this be a free-for-all, so to speak, plug? Will this be a free-for-all where they run up and grab whatever weekend they think is best, and then it's a full-on competition weekend to weekend for their stuff? That's going to be interesting to see how they handle this, because there's no contingency plan for this. There's no book that they can turn to. There's no handbook or guideline or blueprint for this kind of stuff. So they're kind of going to have to figure out as they get along. And the studios can be quite greedy when they want to go for your money, and certainly Disney, owning as much as they do, I'm sure going to try to big time the situation all the way down the line. And they have a lot to lose here. Onward didn't do as well as they were hoping, and we'll talk about that in a second. So Mulan is really that big thing. They were hoping it was going to be a good box office hit for them as we kind of turn that corner into Marvel, into Black Widow, into Eternals later on this year. So there's a lot can be affected from there. So we're going to see how that turns out. But I don't know, to be honest with you, if studios will be either cutthroat or they'll be respectful of each other, because they know that all of them need to survive in order to keep going with movies. This is a scary time, especially because if you look at the last 10 years or 5 years, you've really seen the idea of movies, going to the movies, becoming, less and less of a thing that people want to do. Yes, the attendance, I don't think the attendance figures are as big. The ticket sales might be bigger, but they're also charging more for tickets. There's also refreshments, that kind of stuff. I mean, you've got they wouldn't come out with these programs where you pay $20 a month like you have AMC stubs if people were going in mass numbers at the levels that they were before. There's too much distraction going on in the world. There are too many options to stream, to watch on YouTube like you're doing now, to watch any number of things than to go to the movie theater. So those are the things you got to factor into as well. And this coming now is an interesting situation, and see how studios react to it financially and what have you. Jeff Snyder and I were talking on the phone yesterday. By the way, Jeff's recovering really well. He sounds still a little down from that flu he got, but he sounds like he's doing a little bit better. We talked a little bit, I was checking in on him. We talked a little bit about this idea, and his concern is about the smaller movies coming down the pike, the smaller movies behind the bigger movies, how those are going to be affected. Are studios going to want to spend their money on smaller films that they were going to take a chance on because they had the big money coming in from the blockbuster films? If they had that money to spend on the smaller films, are they going to do that in this situation, or are they going to play it safe? So that's a concern that Jeff Snyder had. We were talking yesterday, and that's something I hadn't even thought about, and it makes all the sense in the world. All right, let's move on. Andrew G donated. He said, man, all these people on Twitter and whatever saying just put it on Hulu, Netflix, Disney Plus, etc., don't seem to understand that this is a business, and they need more than ever now to try and make their money back later in theaters. Yeah, Andrew, that's a great point you bring up. Exactly. This is a business. You can't just put these movies out on Hulu and whatever. You'll get the subscription numbers for sure, but you won't see the profit, and that's what really this is all about. And there's enough on these streaming services, on Hulu, on Disney Plus, on Netflix, that you don't need to put new content up there. Honestly, if for 3 months Hulu, Netflix, Disney Plus didn't put up one iota of content, new content rather, you'd still have a plethora of movies and TV shows and specials and stand-ups and whatever that you could watch. In fact, go look at your queue. Your queue probably has like 200 to 300 things that you said, oh yeah, I'm going to get around to that. Well, if for 3 months you didn't have any movies in the theater, and for 3 months you didn't have any new content, I guarantee you'd still, even if you tackled your queue from every day, you'd still have stuff left over. So there's enough in the streaming services that they don't need to drop their movies down in there. Also, yes, you're exactly right. They will lose money in that situation overall, because down the road is where they want to get that money in the theaters. That's where the people are spending more money and showing you if they like your product or don't. So good point there. Billy Belford, that Liverpool Atletico match was bonkers. Stay safe, my friend. Thank you, Billy. Yeah, it was a tough loss for us in Liverpool. A lot of people reached out, were like, are you okay? Of course I'm okay. Look, it's a game, and I love my team madly, Liverpool, but the loss is the loss. We fought hard. We got suckered by 2 crazy goals. Adrian did not play well. He's always, him and Allison have these occasionally boneheaded moves. We've always found a way to survive them this year, but unfortunately this time around we did not, because Adrian gave that ball right to Atletico, which sparked that first goal and then got them the confidence to get their second goal. So, I put a little bit of the loss on Adrian for sure, but also at the end of the day, we didn't do enough in the final third. Atletico came in with a good game plan defensively. We couldn't get the ball in the net the way we have done in the past. I thought Firmino's goal was going to be it, and that was that, but unfortunately we didn't get the job done. But we won it last year, so it's not a big deal, and we essentially won the league this year. We'll see what happens down the road if they give it to us, or if we come back in April and we start over, and then we end up winning that thing officially. We'll see as it goes along. But thank you, Billy. I appreciate it. It was bonkers. Adelia Chamberlain, thanks so much for your kind words, John. Really struggling with life in general at the moment because depression sucks beyond belief. But the fact that I have streams like yours to watch really helps distract me from things. Thanks for everything. Oh, you're very kind, Adelia. It's my honor to be able to do that for you, to distract you and kind of entertain you in any way, shape, or form. And I'm blessed to have people like you who are willing to watch me talk about this stuff and respect my point of view and take something from what I have to say maybe and go on and have a discussion with your friends or a discussion with other people about what's going down. So I appreciate you taking the time to watch this and to give it some love, and thank you so much. And please don't forget, guys, we're over 200 of you all in here, which I very, very much appreciate this Monday morning. Please swing your cursor over, hit that like button. I'd love to get over 200 likes as soon as possible. But so I can have that kind of. I always like to have these benchmark goals throughout these shows. For those of you who are new, I like to hit that 100, that 150, and the 200 goal. And considering I have so many in here already, I'd love to get over the 200 as soon as possible. Thank you so much. All right, and Adelia, sending you much love some more. Thank you for being a fan of the show and a fan of me. I appreciate it. TR donated. He said, with everyone low on money, high on time, and needing content, which streaming service do you think is the most appealing? Well, the Outlaw Nation. I think the Outlaw Nation will be the most appealing. To be honest with you, how can I not plug my own thing? But that being said, absolutely, I do think I think Disney Plus or Netflix is your best. I mean, I think Netflix really is your best bet, but because Disney Plus is very much central to just Disney stuff, properties they own, whereas Netflix has a plethora of stuff you can choose from across the world, from around the world. As I said, I finished up the Valhalla Murders with my lady over the weekend, and that's an Icelandic murder mystery, and it's awesome, an awesome series. And I'll do a review of it later today or tomorrow, but those are the kind of things you can be exposed to that have more stuff going on. Sorry about that, y'all. That have more stuff going on. So that's a positive there. St. Patrick's Day tomorrow. That's right. All right. So yeah, I would say that absolutely. I would say I would go to Netflix because there's so much more you can choose from. But having Disney Plus helps as well because you can watch those Marvel movies. You can get inspired by that stuff. You can feel good. Sometimes those MCU movies are like coming home. You know what I'm saying? You get a chance to sit down with them and enjoy them again and relish them and whatever. And if you're being told to stay home, if you're being told to work from home, then why not enjoy a Marvel movie and have it on in the background and kind of put a smile on your face? Or if you go Netflix, watch that series and enjoy it, or try some movie that you'd heard was good, and here it is on Netflix. You go and give it a shot, or watch those documentaries, which are fantastic. If I could put a plug in, American Factory, that's a great documentary that's on there now. Absolutely. So, all right, let's see. What's the next one? Josh Guzman says, are you guys planning to cover UFC fights on Game Time? Yes, we are. UFC Brasilia happened over the weekend, so we're going to talk about that one for sure. And we're going to talk about whether Dana White should be continuing to put on these matches. The next UFC event, Tyrone Woodley already pulled out because they're not doing it in the UK anymore, and he is not flying to the States with all the travel bans going on. How's that going to affect their business? So things of that nature. We'll definitely be covering it on Game Time later on today at 1 o'clock. Pacific time. And then Travis Rocha, I've been following Jay's channel too. Any chance of either of you doing a crossover episode? Jay, you mean Jay Washington? If you mean Jay Washington, he's coming on the show. He's coming on Sports Time at 1 o'clock today. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff that's going down. So it's going to be a lot of fun to cross over with him and have him be a part of the Game Time family. So that's what it is. 1 o'clock Game Time Sports. Winston Marshall, Jay Washington, and I talking it up. There'll be a revolving door of guests, but I wanted to start off big with those two guys. They're fantastic. Mark Ellis has already said he wants to come on the show. We'll see if we can talk Mark Riley to come on the show. Any number of people to come on the show. Now that I've discovered StreamYards, I can just basically have people join me remotely from wherever they're at, and it's like you're not missing a beat. Doesn't feel like a phone call or a Skype call at all. Feels like an actual show happening, like you'd see on ESPN with the three different people sitting next to each other in that way. And maybe if I'm lucky, I can get Taylor Bashotti to come on, or Rachel Bonetta to come on, or any number of these people that I've made contacts with over the last couple of years when I was hosting Collider Sports. So there you go. All right, and let's see what we got here. Oh, well, got a super chat coming through. Let me see if I can bring that up here real quick. Yeah, it's from Vyokaslav Rosandic. He donated through Super Chat, said, what are your expectations towards Dune in 2020? Well, here's what I say. Dune, I'm of two minds about Dune. One, I'm excited because Denis Villeneuve is an incredible filmmaker. His films have been some of my favorites over the last decade, starting with Prisoners and going from there with Arrival and Blade Runner 2049 and a number of other, and Sicario, which is my favorite film of 2015, things of that nature. So I've been a massive fan of Denis Villeneuve. If we're going to have an awesome film based on this almost incredibly difficult to adapt book from Frank Herbert, then he's the guy to do it. That being said, didn't we just see a 2-hour and 45-minute movie from him that took its time, that paced itself out, that has a score, that has, a long story to tell in Blade Runner 2049, and it didn't do well financially. So that's my concern. Do I love that movie? You're goddamn right I love that movie. I have it in 4K, and it's absolutely gorgeous to watch. But that being said, not a lot of people came out to the theater. So is Dune the kind of book that is provincial? Is Dune the kind of story that is only for us nerds or geeks who've watched or read this stuff and not for the outside public? I don't know. The David Lynch version obviously is a cult classic, but it's a cult. They call things cult classic because people didn't go to see it in the theaters the first time around and discovered it later, and then it's a small group of people that enjoyed it. And that may have been what led to the Blade Runner situation, because Blade Runner, in essence, to a lot of people, is a cult classic. It didn't do well in the box office when it was initially released in the 80s, but it picked up on video and on DVD and on Blu-ray and on VHS, of course, and on constant showings on television. That's where it picked up its fan base. So are we going to get less or more of that? We'll see. We'll see with Denis Villeneuve. We'll see what he can do with Dune. Will it suffer the same fate? I don't know, but I'm looking forward to it. I want it to be awesome. And I wonder now, also something else to think about, I wonder how all these production delays and moves and things of that nature could affect the box office for it. Because if it comes out at the right time, people could be so damn thirsty to be coming back to the. And that's another thing to think about as well for all of you there, is that, people could come back to the movies in droves. People will come back in large numbers to see these movies because they want to see these movies. They want to be involved in these movies. They want to go and experience movies as well. So I think people will come back. And the one thing I know about human nature, if we willingly walk away from something, that's cool. But if something is taken away from us, then there's a problem. And I think Americans, or human beings really, not just Americans, human beings don't like things taken away from them without their permission. And so I feel like the coronavirus coming in and affecting movie release dates, especially movies that a lot of us were looking forward to, gets us a little bit subconsciously angry. So that when the movie comes back out again, we're going to go see it multiple times to make up that money, to be like, yeah, we're back watching movies. So don't be surprised if that happens as well. I also want to give a quick shout out to Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson. They got the coronavirus down there in Australia. They were shooting their Elvis Presley biopic movie. Tom Hanks playing Colonel Tom Parker. My God, are we going to get a sympathetic portrayal of Tom Parker? He was such a terrible person in Elvis Presley's life. I'd be surprised if we get that. But yeah, that's what they were shooting down there. And I think a lot of people said this over Twitter. Well, not a lot, but I saw a few people say this, and I thought it was hilarious, that the coronavirus purposely went after Tom Hanks to let you know that it means business. So I thought that was incredibly funny for them to do that. So, or for someone to say that, I thought it was perfect timing for that. So, all right, sending a lot of love to them, and hopefully a speedy recovery. And if you've seen Tom Hanks's posts about their coronavirus struggles or what they've been dealing with, you know that that's the right way to handle it, the right mix of humor and seriousness. In fact, his second message, I think, said there's no crying in baseball, kind of referring to people being upset or hurt or sad that they got the coronavirus, essentially saying it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. So, if anyone's going to lead us through this global crisis, why wouldn't it be Tom Hanks? By example, I think, if more than anything else. So shout out to both of him and Rita Wilson. Hope they recover soon. But yeah, it's no joke, this coronavirus. Don't try to mess around with it. Please stay home if you need to stay home. If you're being told to stay home, don't be angry and be upset that you have to stay home. Stay home and do what needs to be done. Another thing to think about here, to continue the story I was talking about with the money that's being lost and what have you. A producer is quoted in the Hollywood Reporter article saying it's not like you can stop on a dime, because he's commenting on the fact that the live-action Little Mermaid and the Shang-Chi and the the Legend of the Ten Rings has been postponed as well, saying that it's not like, and they're estimating the production costs for delaying these movies, those two movies, is going to be anywhere from $300,000 to $350,000 a day. A day. That's a hell of a pretty penny. He said that one of the producers there, it's not like you can stop on a dime. You need to keep department heads going and maybe a level down from there through the hiatus. And they're not even sure what insurance is going to cover in terms of lost revenue. Is there policies in place with at least a limited amount of coverage for communicable diseases, exclusions, things of that nature? That's what attorney John Tomlinson was saying. He's quoted, and he's an insurance and risk management lawyer. Also, the TV series. I don't want to be remiss about that. A lot of TV series. Last week on Mornings with the Outlaw, I listed out all the TV series that are halted or their production's been delayed. And so there's a lot that's out there as well. Broadway has shut down. Pilots have shut down production. A lot of actors who fought really hard to get into a pilot. Maybe this is their first pilot. They've been through 15 auditions and they finally booked a pilot. Now, how do they deal with the fact that these pilots might be shut down? And when they come back, or when the production schedule is opened up again, will they still want to do the pilot? That's another part of this whole thing that kind of goes in line with what Jeff Snyder said about these smaller movies. Will they want to keep doing these smaller movies, or taking a chance on these smaller movies if they don't have the backup budget and global box office to do that? So we'll see. Typically it says here, with scores of pilots having also shut down production, it's unclear if there will be any new fare to present to mass ad buyers who typically spend north of $6 billion during the May upfront period. It's also fair to expect sizable financial losses as events like March Madness on CBS and the NBA Finals on ABC are being impacted. One of the top agency sources says, I don't want to see broadcast TV fall apart. Thank God it's not football season. If it was, they'd be effed. So that's another thing to think about too. And a lot of these unions, Yahtzee and the Broadway performers, are petitioning for some financial compensation here while they deal with these shutdowns, because the shutdowns are not due to anything that they've done. But SAG-AFTRA, the DGA, and the Writers Guild of America at West and East have not joined the calls for government relief just yet. So this is going to be all new land that we're covering and walking into, and seeing how people react to it, and how the government, I know the government is bailing out companies, but are they going to bail out performers and creatives in the same way? We shall see down the road. All right. I'm taking a quick moment. I'm going to put I'm going to put a little food in my mouth and take a drink here to kind of get my head back straight. And we'll jump into our last topic as we roll into 10 o'clock to lead you into SCN Live. Christian Harloff hosting SCN Live by himself today. I think Ben Goddard might be on the controls. I'm not sure, but he is doing it by himself today. And so go and watch that at 10 a.m. this morning on SCN Live. All right, Sean Monk. I'm going to get a little food in me. It's about raisin challah. I love raisin challah. It is the bread that speaks my language always. Thank you all for being patient with that. I appreciate it. Smaller companies may go bankrupt. That's a fair point. MK Songbird said the Dow dropped 2,500 points in the first 15 minutes this morning. Insane. Oh, Brett is joining Harloff? Oh, cool. All right, cool. I like that. All right, Sean Monk donated here. He said, Rocha, I've mentioned it before that I work at AMC, and as of today, New York State has closed all theaters. All right. So we're laid off for the time being. It's going to suck, but I know leading by your example of strength, we can get through it. Love you, Rocha. Keep it up, brother. Thank you, Sean. I appreciate that. Yeah, take it one step at a time, one day at a time. Are you laid off so you can file for unemployment, or are you laid off and then when it picks back up, you'll get back onto the job? Is it a furlough type situation, or is it a full-on layoff? That's what I guess. There's a lot of confusion about that for those of us who are watching from the other side. Is it a layoff for the employees, or is it a furlough? And let me know. You don't have to donate. Let me know, Sean, in the chat if you want to answer that. Chris Scorpio. And by the way, like I said, take it one step at a time. Figure out what you're going to do next. And hopefully there's going to be a lot of compensation for that, and a lot of interesting situations going on with everybody and how they're reacting to it. And hopefully the government is there to help everyone through this situation. It isn't just setting aside money for other things. You've got to set aside money for Americans who are suffering and things of that nature. So am I buffering? Andy Burnett says, is anyone else buffering or just me? Am I buffering? I feel like I'm doing all right here. Nothing's buffering on my end, so hopefully not. All right, and Chris Scorpio says, I've been going to high school sports and entertainment YouTube sites promoting the Schmodown, hoping to gain followers in this downtime of entertainment. On a side note, stay safe out there. That's awesome, Chris. It's really kind of you to help promote the Schmodown, help push the Schmodown. People want their sports fix, so why wouldn't it be the Schmodown in that way? So maybe they can go and enjoy it and become new fans of it. Why not? There's always a way to find a silver lining even when it looks tough, right? You've got to be in this situation, right? Me starting this channel was in essence my silver lining, right? I had been frustrated at Collider a bit because I'd constantly been bumping up the ceiling. They wouldn't let me do more. They wouldn't put me in a position where I felt I was ready to take the next step. I was frustrated that I couldn't control the content. I was not allowed to have a voice in the direction of the content and how we were doing the content. Or if I did have a voice, it wasn't allowed to be as strong of a voice to influence the overall feeling. So where can I do that? On my own channel. Where can I do that? Here, no one is telling me what to put on my channel or content to put on my channel. I'm driven by the desire of me putting what I want to put up. It's a whole nother animal, though, because it is like, okay, well, what are you going to do now? Do you know how much time it takes to put this stuff up? Edit it yourself, record it yourself, shoot it yourself, things of that nature. So that's the extra part of it that I'm doing that I wouldn't have had to do over at my previous job, but I am doing it here. So I'm learning as I go along and wondering how much endurance I have to create all this content. So that's how I look. But it's a silver lining nonetheless, because I get to create the stuff and put it out there. And I hope it's quality stuff that you all will enjoy. Already, the difference between the first stream and the stream now is night and day, literally with the lights. They're night and day. And I'm very happy with where we're going and excited to see where we go next. And discovering StreamYards, being able to bring people in remotely to be on the show as a guest or to come ask their questions as a guest is pretty awesome as well. And just a quick little plug for that. I think I have it up here. Yeah, that's right. Don't forget tomorrow. Speaking of bringing people into chats, tomorrow at 7 p.m. Pacific time, we might go till 10. I don't know. It depends on how many people join me. The Outlaw Nation, the second episode of the Outlaw Nation show is back. So many of you asked for the Outlaw Nation to come back. We're going to talk about everything. Last week we talked about James Bond. We talked about Joe Biden. We talked about sports. We talked about everything. Nothing is off the table in the Outlaw Nation show. I like to talk about all kinds of subjects, and that's the one show where there is no limits, no restrictions. Any topic you want to talk about. You want to talk about depression, mental health. You want to talk about, we had Raven was on, and Raven talked about his creator's block that he was having. Things of that nature. We'll talk about all of it. Relationship issues. I don't have any problem talking about anything. So just come on the show. John Mariano, and Jake Jacobetta are going to help me with the show. There's going to be separate sections set up in the Discord for patrons. Patrons will get preference over people who are not patrons, and then but I'll get to all your questions in the order in which they were presented to me and in the order of patron versus not patron. So things of that nature will be going down. But please come join me 7 p.m. Pacific time till 9 p.m. and tentatively Could go till 10 if there's enough of you all in here to do that. So please come join me on the Outlaw Nation show. Had a great time last week, and I had an impromptu one with Drew, who had flown in from New York for the free-for-all. So we had a nice little two-person show there that you can go and take a look at. It's almost 4,000 views already on the channel. Go and watch Drew and I. And some of you joined in and had your questions asked live. You joined in from your cameras. And that's what I mean. If you join me tomorrow night, you from your camera and your microphone, I can slide you right in and you'll be on camera asking us questions and saying hi to us and having a back and forth, which is a lot of fun. So, all right, let's move on. Let's see. I don't think I have any more Streamlabs just yet. Thank you, I Am Cosmo, for subscribing to the channel. Once again, over 200 of you have got 162 likes. Would like to get that to 200 likes before I wrap this stream up. So thank you so much for joining me this morning on this lovely Monday morning. But please, I'd appreciate if you slid on over and hit that like button as well. All right, let's move on to our next topic, and that is the box office. Right, you're thinking, well, what box office? How could there be box office? Yes, movies were still out there for people to see, and Onward was number one again this weekend. But the domestic ticket sales totaled about 55.3 million, which was a 44% drop from last weekend, despite 3 new films coming out: Bloodshot, The Hunt, and I Still Believe in wide release. According to the New York Times, it was the worst period for movie theaters in 2 decades. And that's according to, and they're getting their numbers from ComScore, which compiles box office data. The next lowest weekend was September 15th and 17th in 2000, when ticket sales totaled 54.5 million. And the primary draws were holdovers like The Watcher, which was a serial killer movie, and Nurse Betty. Some of you may remember that movie, Nurse Betty, a dark comedy with Renee Zellweger. However, in today's money, the 2000 weekend generated roughly $83 million in ticket sales. So certainly way more than these 55.3 million that happened over the weekend. As I said, Onward was the number one film. Again, the holdover, it collected an estimated $10.5 million at 4,300 theaters. That's a 73% drop from its first weekend, when Pixar movies typically only drop between 30 and 45% from their first to second weekend. So this is an unfortunate situation for Onward, and it only made 6.8 million globally. Overseas, because of some of those shutdowns of countries shutting down their theaters and what have you. That could have added more to the situation. It's a record drop for a Pixar movie. The Good Dinosaur dropped 60% in its second weekend, despite taking a sharper Friday to Friday drop than Onward. It's tied essentially with The Good Dinosaur, $63 million over its first 12 days. But the $200 million, it's a $200 million feature, and it's only made 101.7 million worldwide. And Scott Mendelson at Forbes is estimating it's only going to make about 140 million by the time its run is over. So you've got the film was, I think everyone who's gone to see it, it's got a high cinema score, has enjoyed it for the most part, and there have been occasional critics who didn't like it. But I think it's a shame for this film, because it's a damn good film. We reviewed it last week on the Geek Buddies, which you can go and watch that review on my channel as well. We reviewed it, me, Shannon, and Michael, just talking about how much we enjoyed the movie, and then Michael went again with 22 other friends, and everybody enjoyed it. So it's an interesting situation here. I think it suffers from comparison to other Pixar films, and so people expect it to be this incredible film, and it's just a damn good animated film that's really moving and touching and funny. And unfortunately, it's being squeezed by the situation here with the coronavirus, and maybe people not enjoying the marketing for it as strongly, and maybe the critics' word of mouth isn't as powerful as people were hoping. So also, are people going to take their kids to be exposed to this coronavirus? People are very scared about this. So families are staying away from the movie theaters to see this movie. What other thing that we have here that I want to bring up? That's right, Bloodshot. Well, speaking of new movies that I mentioned just a second ago, with Bloodshot, it came out this weekend as well. Starring Vin Diesel. It played in over 2,800 screens in the United States and Canada, but it collected only an estimated $9.3 million, and it was financed for about $45 million. And they also apparently spent tens of $millions on marketing. The reviews were not good. It got a B grade for the cinema score, which is not good for a movie like this. You want it to have an A cinema score to kind of counter these critics who were bashing it, and probably rightfully so. I did not go see it. I wasn't invited by Sony to go see this a screening of it. Probably for good reason though, because it sounds like it did not do. It was not a good movie overall, and it's probably going to sink like a stone. And it's no coincidence that they didn't move this one, but they moved Fast and Furious. They know which one was really going to make the money for Vin Diesel for sure. The other movie is The Hunt that came out, which is, a satirical horror film about elites killing quote unquote deplorables. It cost $15 million to make and tens of millions to market, but it only made $5.3 million in ticket sales. And remember, the reviews are mostly negative for this thing, and audience gave the movie a C+ in cinema score. That is not good for a movie like this. And that's unfortunate because a lot of people say Betty Gilpin is the reason to see this movie, that she's fantastic. Oops, she stands out. I want to give her some more love up there. That she's the one that stands out, of course, from Glow. That's where most of you probably, or Nurse Jackie. That's where you might have seen Betty do her great work, or best work as a TV actress. And now she's on to some film stuff. So an unfortunate situation for The Hunt. And of course, it was a film that was delayed for political reasons, and here it comes out thinking it had found its right time. There was all this hype behind it, pushing it forward in the marketing campaign, and to have it fall flat at 5.3 million, it's just something. Sometimes things are cursed, and sometimes maybe that film is one of those films that sometimes falls into that hole of being cursed. You know, it happens every once in a while. Hilary Swank is part of this thing as well. They had scheduled to release it in September, but of course Universal canceled the plan after 31 people were killed in back-to-back shootings in Texas and Ohio. And conservative pundits who had not watched the film, of course, called the film's premise sick, without realizing that the film makes fun of both sides of the political spectrum. But hey, why bother? Why bother looking or reading something or watching something and having an informed opinion when you can just inflame the masses, get views, get clicks, get likes, and somehow find a way to look yourself in the mirror? I guess they do that in their own way. Another thing that we should talk about is Invisible Man. Elizabeth Moss's starring turn here in Elizabeth Mann from Blumhouse and Universal, and of course director Lee Winnell. It actually had the smallest drop in the top 20 films, earning $6 million, which is only a 60% drop in its third weekend. It gives the $7 million R-rated film a robust $64.4 million over 17 days and $122 million worldwide. So shout out to them. At least there's some positive news coming out of this situation, that The Invisible Man kind of hit at the right time, made its money right off the bat, and didn't drop too much into its second and third weekends in comparison to other films. The other film that we should definitely mention real quick is, where is it? Is it Sonic the Hedgehog? That's right. Sonic the Hedgehog, in its fifth weekend, it earned $2.575 million. It dropped about 67%. Not too bad for a fifth weekend. And it made $145 million domestically. Now officially the biggest video game movie ever in unadjusted domestic earnings. It was made for $85 million and has earned $306 million worldwide after dropping 76% overseas. So you got to give it some love. Shout out to Jim Carrey. Shout out to everybody involved in the Sonic production. It did its thing, and I'm incredibly happy for that particular film. And another film I'm happy for, and that is Bad Boys for Life. It earned $1.09 million over the weekend for weekend 9. It's its ninth weekend in release, and it dropped only 64%. Not too bad for a ninth weekend, to be honest with you. And it crossed for a $204.3 million domestically. That's how much it made, sans inflation, of course. And the $204 million gross, it passes the $204 million gross of Terminator 2 Judgment Day. It has earned $415 million worldwide. $415 million worldwide for a third installment of a franchise that started in the 90s, and nobody was expecting much from this movie. But as soon as people saw the first few screenings, you didn't know. Like, look, let me tell you something. With these movies, you never know. I came out of that movie theater after seeing Bad Boys for Life, and I was like, this is a damn good movie. Is it going to be a movie that does decently and then sinks, or are people going to come to see this thing in droves? And damn if they didn't come see this thing in droves. So mad love to Will Smith, mad love to Martin Lawrence for capturing the magic of the first movie. I wouldn't say the second movie. I know Makuga would say the second movie. I will not say the second movie. Certainly captured the magic of the first movie and bringing it back to life here for that third installment. So a lot of love to them involved in it. So there is some positive stuff to come out. Like I said, you can find some silver linings if you look for them. And this is a positive coming out of this box office weekend, even though it's probably on record as one of the worst box office weekends ever in the history of film release. One sad note, and that is Birds of Prey. It only earned $560,000 this weekend for a 74% drop in its sixth weekend, and a bad $84 million domestically. So that's an unfortunate situation. See, that's another one. I came out of that movie and I tweeted about it and I said, DC fans are going to love it. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe DC fans didn't come in droves like they came to Aquaman, like they came to Wonder Woman and other films that have come out recently, even Shazam, and didn't support it as strongly. And I wonder if there's something to be kind of, in the long run, something to be learned from this situation. As we've said many, many times, PG-13 probably was the better route for them. And we'll see if in the end they realize that mistake in only certain films. But then again, Joker R-rated over $1 billion. So it's a case-by-case basis always. There's no sweeping generalization, I believe, that you can make about box office analysis or about films that do well or don't do well. You've got to have it's a case-by-case basis, situation to situation in that way. One thing I do want to give a shout, I don't have a picture for this one, that is I Believe. I Still Believe, is that what it's called? Yeah, I Still Believe. It's an under-the-radar new release. It sold the most tickets of the newcomers from this past weekend. It's a religious film, collected about $9.5 million from 3,250 theaters. It's a romantic drama that stars KJ Appa, who you might have seen in Riverdale, and Britt Robertson, who was in Under the Dome and a number of other projects that I've seen Britt Robertson do, and I think she's a damn good actress, is based on the true story of the Christian singer-songwriter Jeremy Camp and his first wife, Melissa Henning Camp, who was diagnosed with terminal cancer while on their honeymoon. It received middling reviews, but it got an A in the cinema score. See, that's the key here. It's important. A in cinema score to balance bad reviews, that's where you might see some box office success or surprise. That's something that has borne out. Now, it's not a generalization, but it has borne out for certain movies. And certainly religious movies have found an audience over the last few years. And certainly at this time, you got to give some props to I Still Believe. So shout out to them for making the money that they made. And hopefully it got middling reviews. And that's the thing at the end of the day. I guess this is a separate, I don't want to go into too much of a rant on this, but I guess this is a separate situation. That is this. These religious movies clearly have a box office for them. My problem is sometimes they are made, most of the time, I would say most of the time, they are made to appeal to the lowest common denominator. And I get that. Maybe they think, okay, if we make it simplistic enough, that people will come to see it, religious people will come to see it because they just want to have a positive religious message. But I think there's more to explore here. Remember Ben-Hur, remember the Ten Commandments. We used to be able to do religious movies on an epic and grand scale, an incredible scale, and make money and tell the right message as well. So this is what I want to see from religious films and religious box office films. If you want to do them, great, but find incredible talent in terms of writers and directors. Create like fantastically well-received films. That is possible. Religious themes can be universal. The thing is, you have to find a way to make them, there has to be a certain artistic bent to them that feels good, that looks good. And so there's possibilities here. And yeah, I know there's smaller films and something like Call of the Wild or something like the Way Back. Those films aren't necessarily finding audiences right off the bat, but I also think it's quality with those two films as well. So to me, it's always about quality. Why not err on the side of quality and take the chance that your film may do well at the box office, be a quality film, and then develop its own legacy? That's certainly possible. So I don't know. Maybe one day I'll direct one of those things and show and put money where my mouth is. We'll see. We'll see. All right, let me check to see if there's any more Streamlabs or Super Chats I got to get to here as we take a little bit of a break. All right, Chris Scorpio already sent his stuff in. Justin Bedford has just subscribed. Thank you, Justin. I appreciate you subscribing. And in relation to Billy Belford, let me know. Right there is the Streamlabs address. Just put it up there. Please send in your Streamlabs. Got about a little bit over 20 minutes left. Might cut this thing off at around 9:50, just so I have a little bit of, just to give you guys a little bit of a break before you roll into SCN Live with Christian Harloff and what have you. And maybe I'll look through it. Yeah, so please send in if you want to send in chats. Who was I looking for earlier? Sean Monk. Sean, let me see if I can find you in here. Can you search in the chat for participants? No, pop out chat. No. Okay, let me see if Sean Monk was able to respond earlier about if they're laid off and so they can get unemployment, or if they're just furloughed and have to wait until they get brought back. I don't know if he answered my question from earlier. Sean Monk, unfortunately, we don't have many answers. Still waiting on more news. Oh, that's what Sean said. Okay. So they don't know. So he doesn't know if they are going to be put on unemployment or if they have to just wait till they get called back in. And I'm talking about people who work at movie theaters like AMC and other things of that nature. So we'll see. Hey, Billy, is Jordan Bedford your brother there, or your son, or your cousin, or whatever? Let me know. I want to give him a big shout out for joining. Dan Layson mentions, he goes, Field of Dreams is a religious type classic. Feels like a Christian movie, but with baseball. Yeah, I would agree with that. I would agree with that 100%. I think it feels like a pseudo-religious movie. I mean, the idea of the ghosts coming back to help you kind of resolve issues with your dad. I mean, that's a positive message overall for a lot of people. A lot of people don't get a chance to have, that kind of closure with their father. And so to have it in a film that also speaks to the religion of baseball, religion isn't just, believing in God. The idea of religion can be anything you dedicate your life to and put faith into, and that yields positive results and turns you into a better human being. It isn't just about, I think I have a larger, more amorphous definition of religion, in my opinion. I'm so going to get a new pop filter. I keep hitting the arm of this one, so I apologize to you all when you hear the occasional bumps or stuff like that. But I'm going to get one that just slides on, and then that'll be that. Wiley Todd said, John, I completely agree on your statement on religious movies that what I want to do with my life in film, hopefully as a music supervisor. Yeah, that's great, Wiley. I appreciate that. Yeah. You're young. You're building it out. Why not? That's what I want to do with my life in film, hopefully as a music. Yeah. You want to score these films in a better way, and that's what I think. I think they just default to these one notch above Lifetime movies approach to movies, and they just know the religious crowd is going to come. Well, why? If you know the religious crowd is going to come anyway, why not create something that's epic or damn good or of quality? It could be 4 or 5 stars that critics are going to fall all over themselves giving love to. And yeah, I guess you can push that argument of what do the critics know? They don't know what the people know. Critics are still human beings. Critics are still people. They have their points of views. They have their beliefs, just like you do. So to me, I'm like, I think you should create these films in a better way, And I don't know. One day I may put my money where my mouth is, because I will absolutely make that happen. Let's see. Justin Kroll just tweeted about something. Let me see what we've got from Justin Kroll. Let's see. What do we got, Justin? Oh, Twitter's telling me to try again. Oh, because I didn't log in. Oh, Jesus. I guess I logged myself out of a bunch of things before I started the thing today. Let me see. Where is he? Doesn't he have his Twitter? Where's his Twitter? He didn't get off his Twitter, did he? There he is. All right. I follow him. So let's see. Fantastic Beasts joins long list of production postponements as production was expected to start today. So now Fantastic Beasts. Remember, that one had gotten delayed as well because that second one had come out and was absolutely lambasted by the critics and numerous fans of the Harry Potter series. And that was pushed back as well. So now to see it pushed back again after kind of Johnny Depp has kind of come back a little bit more into the pop culture approach to things that people are starting to like move past that thing with him and Amber Heard, because a lot of people are hearing both sides. And so they're kind of making up their own minds. And it feels like, because I just saw a commercial with Johnny Depp last night for a Christian Dior cologne that he's promoting. And I don't think he'd be doing it if they didn't feel that the pop culture has kind of re-embraced Johnny a little bit. So the fact that they were going to start shooting Fantastic Beasts 3 today after already being postponed, and now it got postponed again. And now we'll see what happens with that. When is it going to come out now? Are they going to be done in time and what have you? So these are things. This is just a fluid situation constantly. So we shall see how it goes along in that way. Let's see. What else have we got going on through? Let me get back onto the stream here and see what people are saying to me. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Let's see. What true? I need to get his shipping info. With what? Oh, is that for the microphone? Is someone giving you shit about the microphone, Wiley? Yeah. I mean, definitely, man. You just email me, brother. Just email me. You know how it works. My email is on my Instagram. Yeah, and that's another thing. If you want to look at the graphic there, if you want to follow me on Instagram or on Twitter, just follow me at the Rocha Says. My Twitter is at about 32,800 or something like that. I'd love to get it to 35,000. And my Instagram, I want to get it over to past 20,000. It's almost up to 18,000. So just kind of generating more and more of a footprint in the world of entertainment and in what I'm doing now in this sphere. So any assistance from you all would be much appreciated, as well as for the YouTube channel here. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, I'd love it if you went right down there, hit that red button, and subscribe. There's over 200 of you all in here, as I said. We're still at 183 likes, not over that 200 likes yet. Please swing that cursor over, hit the like button on this, and I'd really appreciate it from all of you to be able to do that. So let me see what I've got left here today to talk about. Did we touch everything? Yeah, I think we touched on everything. And then we got all the graphics and rolled on through everything. So just to let you know one more time, and I guess to start the promotion now, as I'm going to wrap up here in the next 8 minutes. But yeah, once again, today, 1 p.m. Pacific time, live, Live, live. And this will be on StreamYard. Please join us. Well, it'll be on YouTube rather, but I will be doing it through StreamYard, so I will be able to bring up your Super Chat questions. I will be able to try and bring up your Streamlabs questions for me, Jay Washington, and Winston Marshall, who tackle everything going on in the world of sports right now. Tackle, pun intended. Talking about the NFL CBA agreement, talking about the trades, talking about golf, talking about NHL, talking about Major League Baseball and the NBA, what's going on with the NBA, Rudy Gobert, Donovan Mitchell, that beef. We're going to talk about all that stuff that's going down in the world of sports, and also speculate on whether WWE and UFC are doing the right thing here by continuing to put on their events and their matches for empty arenas or less than full arenas, and are they endangering their people by making them be a part of this stuff? So all that, we're going to address it all and also answer some of your questions that come through on the Super Chats and on the Streamlabs. All right, join 1 p.m. PT, the three of us. Game time. It's time. It's time. And one more thing, one more other plug for the Outlaw Nation show tomorrow at 7 p.m. PT. 7 p.m. PT. Join me live on the Outlaw Nation show, going from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. PT. Maybe some of you international people who are being made to stay home as well will join me, and maybe we'll lighten up your day or brighten up your day. You can ask me anything about anything that's going on in your world or anything going on in the world of entertainment or sports or politics or what have you. It's a wide open show talking about everything that I want to talk about and everything you want to talk about. That's the Outlaw Nation show. So join me tomorrow at 7 p.m. PT for that. All right, let's go back to me and my actually moving face here in the office and take a look. Oh, yeah, Randall Tan says justice for Depp. AJ Green got the tag for the, Derrick Henry got tagged, franchise tag as well. Dak Prescott, franchise tag. See, those are things we're going to talk about. BC's like, what are you going to talk about? There's no sports. There is sports. There is always sports, my friends. All right, I'm going to take a little bit of this and then take a sip of my drink. Wow. Okay. Just to give you an update here, MK Songbird saying Amazon has paused production on all of its original series as of March 16th. An individual with knowledge told The Wrap today. So there you go. Oh. Haskell says that Johnny Depp Dior ad has been around for at least 2 months. Okay. I didn't know that. First time I saw it was last night. So I thought that it was new. So let's take a look here. All right. Yeah, Anthony Nugent, if you sent a Streamlab, you did. You donated. Yeah, you donated, but there was no question around it, Anthony. I didn't see a question around it. So sorry, bud. Yeah, your $1 Streamlab came through, Anthony. Thank you. But there was no question around it, or I would have answered. So, all right. Let's see. Andrew G's said, "Stay safe down there, everybody. Can't wait to try and call in tomorrow night on Outlaw Nation if that's an option again. It's going to be an option every week, brother man. Just let you know, Outlaw Nation is it's essentially what I want to turn into my call-in show. Of course, I'll have topics that I want to discuss and get your thoughts on, but it will be a call-in show as well, and I'll bring people in and have them answer their or ask their questions, and we'll answer them. If I have a guest on or not a guest on, we'll answer them from there. So yeah, sorry, and Nugent, please send in if you have another question, send it in, please. All right, we've got two. Jesse just subscribed to the channel. Thank you, Jesse, for subscribing to the channel. Really appreciate that. At 191 likes, we're almost over the 200. I would love to get on the 200 likes, over the 200 likes before I wrap this thing up. Haskell 420 sending in 2 super chats. Thank you, Haskell. Hey, John. So it's 316 day for Raw tonight. Austin, Austin and Taker are rumored to be their Undertaker. Talk about bad timing. Having Austin is awesome, but with 15,000 less fans, meh. By the way, what did you think of SmackDown on Friday night? All right, well, I thought SmackDown was really weird on Friday night. I mean, I get that these wrestlers are going to do their things, but there's just something about performing to an empty arena when you're a wrestler that doesn't quite sell it overall, and it feels a little weird, to be honest with you. And I was hoping there would be more of a reaction to things, more of a positive feeling around it, but it felt like you were watching performance theater from the doorway. That's what it felt like to me. And I know Triple H got on there to try to, in essence, defend his decision and the WWE's decision, Vince's decision, really, to keep going with these matches. But it looked to me like you were just kind of watching something weird, especially when Cena and The Fiend were doing their thing. Bray Wyatt, I was like, strange. It was very, very strange. Overall, though, they're gonna keep going, and I know Austin coming out the 316 day without an audience. I don't get it. I mean, I just don't get it. We're going to talk about it on Game Time. So, Haskell, if you want to watch that later on today, we're definitely going to dive deep into that. Of course, with Jay Washington, he's going to have some things to say as well about it. Being a professional wrestler himself, he's going to have some comments to say about it for sure. And, of course, Winston, I'm sure, will have his 2 cents on this whole situation. You know, those boys, it's going to be fun hanging out with the three boys, all three of us hanging out, acting fools, but talking seriously about the world of sports, but also having our fun with each other as we do so. It's going to be a blast. So in that way, let's see. Empty arena matches were weird. Triple H was great. Yeah, Triple H was great on the desk. Yes, he was. Absolutely, you can't argue that. I mean, that's how good he is. That's how good Triple H is he's just willing to kind of do what needs to be done to promote the product. You know, there is a future where the WWE explodes back into. I know it's doing its thing, but there's a future where the creative and the wrestlers and everybody involved are happy and satisfied with what the product they're putting out. And I think when Triple H takes over after Vince moves on from the control of WWE, that's the moment that it'll really make a change. So Rando 10 says the WWE is taking too long to make the announcement to cancel WrestleMania. I agree. I mean, people have to cancel travel plans. Some people buy travel plans without insurance. How could you know that the coronavirus was coming? So some people are going to lose money, and it may cause some ill will with the WWE, and that may be what Vince is balancing here. To give him a little bit of benefit of the doubt, Vince may be balancing the fact that if I cancel this WrestleMania, there's going to be a lot of people going to be out of money, going to be upset, and I'm going to lose a crap ton of money canceling WrestleMania. Is it worth it to do so? So in the end, I don't know. In the end, is it going to be a positive situation, especially when their numbers have been down on subscription, their numbers are down in viewership. I don't know what their merchandise numbers are down. I don't know what the situation is there. CM Punk is certainly saying over and over again on Twitter that he wants to see WrestleMania canceled, and he's part of their Schmodown backstage crew. You know, he's one of the people that shows up. So you get to that situation and you wonder, he's not going to keep his mouth shut. So you wonder how many people are kind of pushing this idea. I know Renee Young has been like, hey, I want to go to that Hall of Fame. And I agree, the NWO is supposed to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. I don't want the NWO inducted into an empty arena. That sucks. So this is sports entertainment. It is meant to have fans. And so that's just a preview of what we're going to say at 1 p.m. I don't want to mess around with that. All right, I think I'm going to wrap this thing up now at 9:45. Guys, thank you so much for being a part of the Outlaw Nation this morning and being a part of Mornings with the Outlaw. I hope I answered all the Streamlabs and the Super Chats. Yes. I don't want to miss anybody because I know there were some people one person that I missed last time. Oh, I should go back to that one. Hold on. Can I go back to that one? Am I allowed to go back to that one? Do they give you more time with these? Do they give you a little more time with these? No. Oh, I guess not. Okay, I guess they only do the last. Is there a way to do more live actions? No giveaways? No recent events? No. All right. Well, we'll see. Is that right? Yeah, guys. It's only certain ones that get through past the 20-hour. Oh, here we go. Past the 24-hour mark, I guess. There's only certain ones that get through. You have to keep pushing to get to the next ones. Oh, well. All right. It's not letting me into some of these that I was hoping to get to. All right. That's a shame. Well, anyway, there we go. All right. Thanks, everybody, for watching Mornings with the Outlaw this morning. A lovely Monday morning. Really hope you all are dealing with this stuff as well as you can. I know this can bring on some anxiety and some panic attacks and some concern and some worry. I hope you have someone to talk to who's open to hear you talk about those things. And I hope you're being open to talk to other people about their anxiety and their concerns and their worries as we go through this coronavirus situation. Like, we're going to get through it. We've gotten through worse in this world and in this country. We can do it. And for people who are watching from other countries, in your country, there is a possibility that we can definitely get through this. It takes a concerted effort amongst all of us to be there for each other and help each other through it and take it step by step, say the right things to each other, kind of support each other, be positive with each other, and listen to each other. Let me tell you something. Sometimes people don't want to hear, it's going to be fine, it's going to be fine. Sometimes people just want you to let them talk about where they're at, and then you go, I hear you, I understand, I'm thinking about you, or let's figure out a way. What do you need to do? What can we do? If the person just says, I just want you to hear me, then just do that. Don't try to go overboard and try to do too much and try to be too calming or too comforting, because some people don't want that. Some people want actually to just be heard. Do that in your own way that you can for other people, and then of course, I hope you have people who do that for you too, who are willing to listen to you and let you vent and worry and your concerns, and then, kind of calms it down, and we move on to the next moment. And remember to breathe. That's the most important thing. One of the greatest things anybody ever taught me is one of my therapists from way back when taught me about breathing, how important breathing is. Even in the most panicky moments, breathing is important. Breathing meaning not just, it means breathing in deep, holding it at the top for a couple of seconds, and then dropping it slowly through your body. And you'll be surprised at how your heart rate starts to calm down, how your anxiety starts to diminish a little bit, and you start to kind of come back a little bit to a operable level for yourself. That is all possible when you do that. So those are the kind of things that you can put in motion. Other things you can put in motion as well as taking a walk. You can still practice social distancing by walking around in your neighborhood and avoiding people kind of walking and know the places you can walk where you're not going to run into too many people, walk briskly past people, things of that nature. Because a good healthy walk kind of gets your blood flowing, gets the adrenaline pumping and the endorphins going, and puts you in a good place. Just let you know. Or find a damn good book that you want to sit down with and read, and kind of either can give you guidelines on how to deal with your panic and anxiety, or transports you to another world where you can just kind of lose yourself in that, and then come back to your world when you're done reading it. So there's things you can do, options, and of course, streaming services, movies, TV shows, video games, maybe listen to your records, whatever. Those are all possible as you deal with this. So just sending you all mad love. Thank you so much for joining me this morning on Mornings with Outlaw. Please follow me on social media. Subscribe to my Patreon, www.patreon.com/John Rocha. Get me above 60 patrons, for God's sakes. Get me above Ben Goddard and Coy, for God's sakes. But I'm sending you all mad love, and I will see you Wednesday for another brand new episode of Mornings with the Outlaw. And don't forget to join me later on today for me, Jay Washington, and Winston Marshall on the debut of the sports show here on the Outlaw Nation, Game Time, and the Outlaw Nation tomorrow at 7 p.m. PT. We'll talk to you then. Take care. Have a great rest of your Monday.